All right, well, good afternoon. It is the Bulletinman. Today is Saturday, April 2nd, and it's 2011. And I certainly appreciate you stopping in for this Bulletinman video broadcast outside in the sunshine. Even though we do have a few chemtrails, I don't know if you can see that or not. But they're cheming us once again, and the chemtrails are making the people crazy. There's a really interesting video on YouTube with actually Prince talking about the chemtrails, and it's good to see some artists are awake and some of those who have a platform are actually taking the time to inform the public. And as a public service, Bulletinman brings you these broadcasts. I've been doing this now, the broadcast, the YouTube broadcast, since 2009, extensively since we moved down here to Piney Park. And of course, I've been doing the Bulletin since August of 1996. We're coming up on our 15th year this year. And I just thank you all for tuning in. The reason why I'm making this broadcast is because of this right here. This is a booking sheet. And about a year ago, April 13th, Frank Retrovato, who was Nora Boland's partner in the bail bond business, passed away. Frank was involved in a car accident under suspicious circumstances. And Cameron Alexander Thomas was Frank's, for lack of a better term, stepson. I don't think Barb and Frank were actually married. But Frank's whole thing was he was really big into Superman. Well, Cameron has taken that moniker, Superman Bail Bonds, and is now operating as a not a general agent, but as a independent contractor for Cox Bail Bonds. Well, Cameron and Michael Smith got in a little trouble last Friday, March 25th, up in Warren County. Folks, the cardinal rule in the bail bond business is if you're going to try to apprehend a jumper, someone who's running from you, you best make sure they're in the house that you kick the door in. And you also have to notify local law enforcement that you are in the area to pick up said jumper. Well, Cameron and Michael didn't notify the Warren County authorities that they were in town to pick up the jumper, and they kicked in the wrong door. This happens occasionally, but in this incident, they just really made a big mistake. Now, after Frank died, Nora and Frank were really good partners and had F&N bail bonds. And Barb and Cameron got into it with Nora for, I don't know why, because Nora basically paid for Frank's funeral and was good to those folks. But Cameron went as far as sending Nora text messages threatening Clayton, Nora's 5-year-old son. And Nora took the text messages to the police there in Crystal City, and of course the Crystal City police do nothing. A lot of just us in Crystal City. But the moral of this story is that God is not mocked. Whatever comes around goes around. And I don't know what's going to happen with these guys. They were arrested for first-degree trespassing, and surety recovery agent failed to notify the first offense. I don't think they've actually been charged with these offenses quite yet, but they were arrested for that and held, and they made bond. It was a cash bond. But I wanted to make this broadcast available to you, the public, to you got to be real careful. If you get in an incident involving police and you get bailed out, you best be real careful who you pick for your bail bondsman. There are some very, very shady characters in the bail bonds business, and some people are legitimate. And the reason why I like Nora so much is back in back in 2006, Nora and Junkie came down to Wayne County to bail me out of a situation where I had been in custody for assaulting a law enforcement officer, in which actually he assaulted me. I got beat up. And since then, I will do whatever I can to help Nora out. Nora's a great lady. I ask you to pray for her mother, Janet. Janet's been having some foot problems, and it's not looking good for Janet's foot, so I ask you to lift her up. But I wanted to make this video available to you, and also talk to you about the state of Jefferson County in general. Folks, we're at war in this country, and who we're at war with is not some shady characters from overseas who are terrorists. The terrorists are within our own gates, and they drive around in police cars. Ever since September 11th, which we're coming up on the 10th year of September 11th of 2001, 911, as far as I'm concerned, and more people are waking up to this fact, 911 indeed marks the Antichrist. And what they're doing to people through our court system, which we the taxpayers are funding, is downright terrorism. Now, as far as I'm concerned, and the way this country was founded upon, you are innocent until proven guilty. And also, unless you have caused an injury, it's called provable personal injury, loss, or harm, you are not even remotely guilty of a crime. Unfortunately, 90% of the court's business involves situations where the police, are in all reality the ones who are causing injury, loss, or harm. There are some incidences through the court. About 10% of the court's business is legitimate, where there has been a incident when someone actually got hurt. And I don't condone drinking and driving. I don't condone drug use. But if you get caught drinking and driving and you did not harm somebody, or if you get caught with the so-called illegal substances and you didn't harm anybody, then you are not guilty of that crime. So if you ever have a chance to sit on a jury in one of these cases when there is no victim other than the one being accused of the so-called crime, then you need to vote not guilty. You need to wake up and realize that the court system is based all about money. I get at least 2 to 3 emails a week, sometimes daily, of people who are being just run over by this system. One gentleman, it's cost him his car dealership license, his driver's license, over $300,000 in fees and lost revenue. Another gentleman who's legally blind basically was accused of DWI and had nothing to drink. And they're just running these people over. So I implore my people who watch these videos, and I implore the law enforcement officers to have a heart and realize that why most of the people in this country are super upset with folks in authority is because it's all about the love of money. And as the economy collapses, as more and more people are in jeopardy of losing their homes, as the price of gas rises, as drug use is rampant, firearm sales at record highs, you better not be messing around if you're a cop, squeezing people. God is not mocked, believe me. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. And the moral of this video is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Because in the end, you know what? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. He will repay. And me personally, the sheriff now is leaning on a few of my advertisers who do business with the county and are saying, hey, man, you're advertising with the Bulletinman. I'm not going to give you any more business, but it's the taxpayers' dollars that the sheriff is dealing with. And Sheriff Oliver Glenn Boyer, even though he's done a lot for my family, I was talking to my brother last night about how Oliver Glenn supposedly helped him out in a few situations. Well, in reality, he didn't really. But I love Glenn. I really do. I've known him for 40 years, basically, since I was 4 or 5 years old. My father built his fireplace in his house. But what's happened in Jefferson County is you have about 200 police officers and about 500 courthouse workers, 700 to 800 people altogether who are terrorizing 225,000 of them, citizens of this county, and basically squeezing them for every nickel and dime they are worth. There's a lot of just us and very little justice. Bulletinman's been doing this a long time. Started out as a more therapy, but now it's gotten to a point now where, hey, the stage is set. We have every right to go in and deal with these people in a military fashion. But if you live by the sword, then you're going to die by the sword. And Jesus was never about violence. He didn't necessarily come to bring peace to this earth. He came to bring division, basically. A man's enemy shall be that of his own household. But we have the method, motive, means, and opportunity to eliminate our rogue government, and that's exactly what they are. Now, I've requested to be put on the agenda of the April 11th meeting of the Jefferson County Council. I've been speaking with Mr. Waller, who's the county executive, and he emailed me back yesterday. I haven't actually had a chance to talk to him. He wanted me to call him, and I will do that, Ken. You didn't leave me a cell phone, so I can't call you on your cell. But we're to a point where, me personally, I'm only one person. But there are now at least 10,000 of us because of the unemployment situation, where 4 Republican senators have held up the unemployment for about 10,000 Missourians. We're ready to go to war. And I don't really think that we have to do that. The reason why we have a First Amendment is to make videos and to do things in print. To tell these people what our grievances are. Now, for the last year or so, I've been really hard on the Sheriff's Department, and really nothing has changed. So I make one more video. I don't know if it'll be my final one. I make one more video and an appeal to those who are in law enforcement, those who are in the courts, especially Forrest Wagey, who's the prosecutor, to really think about what you're doing and quit harming the citizens of this great county. Well, this is the Bulletinman. It's Saturday, April 2nd, 2011. It's a beautiful day. Notice the flag in the background's upside down. And the reason why it's upside down is because this country is in a state of distress. And I just wanted to make one more video. I do love you, and I appreciate you tuning into this Bulletinman video broadcast. I'm going to let you go. I don't really know how long I've rambled on here. I can't see the camera, but I do these out of love. I really do. And I want you to pray for this county. I want you to pray for those in authority. I want you to pray for our elected leaders. And I pray that the God of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of glory, would give unto them the spirit of wisdom and revelation and the knowledge of Him. That the eyes of their understanding would be enlightened. They would know what is the hope of His calling, and what the riches, the glory, and the inheritance in the saints is, and what is the exceeding greatness of His power to us who believe, according to the working of His mighty power, which He had wrought in Jesus Christ when He raised Him from the dead. Folks, time's running out. I don't know how long we got, but it's not going to be long until Jesus comes. But in the meantime, I've been called by God Almighty, the Lord of hosts, to basically take the role as a modern-day prophet, and to warn the wicked to turn from their wicked ways. So this is your warning, wicked people. And woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. So anyway, that's all I got to say. You have a great day. I do love you. And remember, as always, I ask you to tell a friend about me. I am the one and only Bulletinman. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.